Ms. Raysor, you and your brother, Mr. Hunt, are suing your mother and your father for a paternity test. You claim that just 2 weeks ago they dropped a bomb during an argument. You say in the heat of the moment they inadvertently revealed that it was possible your dad, Mr. Jacobs, is not your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jacobs, you say since the time they were babies, you're the only father your children have ever known.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Raysor, tell us about the argument you and your brother overheard.
I started to hear a lot of noise in my mom's bedroom. He coming out the room, going to the kitchen saying, well, those ain't my kids anyway, so I was doing you a favor and left out the door. Yes, really? Yes, really.
Your mother made a comment that really didn't sit too well with me, and it hurt me. You guys didn't hear the whole comment.
You know I was just mad. You know I was mad. I was just mad. It was out of anger.
So, Ms. Hammonds, you're admitting that in the heat of the argument, you said this statement. You made this statement to Mr. Jacobs that you're not their father anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
But it was just in the heat of the moment, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was only 2 weeks ago that this all came to a head. 2 weeks ago.
Well, Your Honor, I have to say this. It's been longer than 2 weeks ago. It's just that this argument sort of brought everything out.
And
Your
when
Honor,
you heard that, immediately you felt...
I was in shock. I was just like, how you just gonna, despite the argument, how you just gonna leave without saying bye, hug? They argued, that's cool. But when you got your children and you arguing with your spouse, that don't got nothing to do with us. You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
Your Honor.
Mr. Hunt, you'd like to add something?
Yes, Your Honor. I was sitting in the living room playing video games with my friends. I overheard what he said, and it messed me up. And when he walked out the house, I was sitting there in a state of
Your Honor,
shock.
can I interject,
So
please?
you overheard this as well?
Yes, I did. Me and my friends, actually. And I was just sitting there like, whoa. Like,
We was having a get together. Everybody was at the house.
So, Mr. Jacobs, did you make that comment?
Yes, I did, Your Honor, but I don't believe my children heard the whole comment.
it had me so stressed out, Your Honor, where I went on Facebook and I thought the whole world was against me, and I posted, I'm crying gangster tears.
And you know, I'm the stronger one. Even though I'm the little sister, I act like the big sister, but for him to make that statement was just ridiculous.
All right, Mom.
Because
so
they didn't hear the whole
For him to make
comment?
that statement, why did you make that statement? Why did you say what you said for him to say what he said?
Because maybe he's not your father, Precious.
What
maybe he's not.
What you mean?
Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's not.
So what you was doing, Ma?
Miss Hammonds?
May I just say
Excuse
something, please,
me,
Your Honor?
Your daughter is asking for
maybe.
clarification.
I'm 26 years old, okay? This is the only man that I know for all my life. He's been there for my kindergarten graduation, my 6th grade graduation. How many men do you know sit in a delivery room with their daughter when they're having a baby, okay? For you to make that statement and for him to... Listen, is there something that you need to tell us? Is there something that you need to tell me?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who's the father. I just don't know. I don't know.
So explain the different last names. Why my name is Raysor, his name is Hunt,
Where I get Hunt
his
from?
name is Jacob,
Where I
and
get
your
Hunt
name
from?
is Hammonds.
Where I get Hunt from?
You say his name came from grandma. He been there for everything. Everything.
I know, Precious.
I'm getting married in January. He's supposed to walk me down this aisle.
He will.
And you gotta tell me the truth. What is wrong? Tell me.
Because I don't know, Precious. I just don't know.
Who's the possibility? That man Tommy, that grandma said that might be my father that I look like? That you denied so many times?
That I overheard at a cookout with some of your friends talking about, don't she look like Tommy, whoever Tommy was?
The whole neighborhood talks about this Tommy person that she's supposed to be dealing with. The whole neighborhood. I've been hearing this for years, but I never doubted the fact that he was my father because he's always been there no matter what. Always. He's been there no matter what.
Now, Ms. Raysor, Mr. Farmer, the man in question, has agreed to take a paternity test. And he's joining us from his hometown. We're here with Ms. Raysor, and you agreed to take a DNA test.
Yes, I was at that cookout too.
You said that this was your friend.
Just 1 second, Ms. Raysor.
You didn't say you were sleeping.
I'm sorry,
with her.
Mr. Farmer?
Wow.
Did you have a relationship with Ms. Hammonds?
You called this your brother.
Yes, we had a physical relationship. It wasn't a relationship.
You called call that your brother?
Ms. Hammonds, were you intimate with Mr.
just
Farmer?
nasty.
Is what he's saying true?
That's
Yes,
Uncle
ma'am.
Tommy.
Yes, ma'am.
That's just nasty. That's just nasty.
Wow.
That is not my father. That's not my father.
Precious.
No, no,
There's a
no.
possibility I
no.
could be your father.
Jerome, would you please go check on Miss Raysor?
Certainly.
Do you see what you did? Do you see
That's
what you did?
crazy.
Just this whole thing
You
tears the whole
sleeping with
family
him?
apart.
You sleeping with him?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No,
So
I'm
you
not.
you are sorry.
Ms. Hammonds, so you do admit that you had a sexual relationship with Mr. Farmer some 26 years ago?
Yes,
Around the time Precious was conceived.
Yes.
You're admitting that here today.
Yes, ma'am.
But you were not having a sexual relationship with him during the time Hector was conceived.
No, ma'am.
So potentially, he could only be Miss Raysor's father.
Yes.
Okay. Miss
So he-
Raysor, thank
he-
you
So
for
that's
joining.
my son.
So, can
That's her brother.
So what has,
Not a brother.
I'm saying y'all brothers and sisters every day.
is that true, Miss Hammond? You call him your brother. It's like a play brother.
Yes, ma'am.
So you understand why your
How's it
daughter is
nasty
so
if we're not
upset.
related? That's not my sister. She's not my sister.
Well, we established
We're not
that
related.
we've established that you all refer to each other possibly as brother and sister, like play brother. You're not related biologically. You're not real sisters and brothers.
No.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he existed.
You wasn't
You
supposed
never
to know
knew
I
he
existed.
existed?
No, you're right. You're right. I should have known you existed.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. You never knew he existed?
No, you're right. You're right. I should have known you existed. Look what you're doing to my family.
I didn't do
You know what?
anything to your family.
I'll say this to you,
It
Mr.
was,
Farmer. I'll
it
say
was
this to you.
already done.
When we leave this courtroom today, my son and daughter is going to be leaving with me, regards to what that paper say.
And she can
Farmer
go
might
back
be
with
there
her
by
brother.
name and name only.
And
Those
she
are
can
mine.
go with her brother, because I'm going with my dad.
Precious.
You can go with your brother.
But you're my daughter.
You can go with your brother.
But you're my daughter.
I know. You're
Oh,
my
let's
mother.
get some order. Okay, this is a lot even for me to take in. And I do this daily. And I want you all to take a deep breath. We've got to get through this. Miss Hammonds, you do understand how your daughter feels at this point. She's introduced to this man as this is a family friend. She thought it was a brother-in-law. You called him Uncle Tommy. She had no idea that somewhere around the time she was conceived, you were in a sexual relationship with him. You do understand that,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. Is everyone prepared to go to the results?
Yes.
I don't want to hear the results.
before-
I'm going with him.
Before you do, Your Honor, before we go to any results,
Yes,
I just
sir.
want to do, these are my children right here. Both these are mine.
I'm not going
These are my children right here, regardless of what them papers say. You can read them, but at the end of the day, these are my children, and I'm gonna, and no matter what the results is, they're gonna respect their mother, and they're gonna respect
the whole
me.
time.
It's okay.
And I wanted to get married in January, and I don't want to go down that aisle living a lie.
Don't worry
I
about it.
tried so hard.
I'm still gonna walk you down that aisle.
After that argument that they had, you know how hard I was looking for somebody to give me a DNA test so I could find out the truth. I didn't know that it was gonna be this big. I just want to know who is my father for real. But he's still gonna walk me down this aisle in January. But I haven't opened up to my fiance the way I should, because I don't know who I am inside no more. I'm so angry. I can't even talk to him. I always want to fight. I always want to lash out. I'm always angry. And I don't know why. I just want to get to the bottom of it.
I couldn't even sit here and pretend to understand what it feels like to be in your shoes and to be going through what you're going through right now. But what I can say is that it takes a strong woman to stand in a moment and be willing to accept the truth, whatever it may be. It's difficult to do. And I commend you for that. And your brother, as you stand here, sir, next to your sister. The only issues we are still here left to figure out and to decide is whether or not Mr. Jacobs is, in fact, your biological father. That is the answer to the question you come here seeking, and I have those answers. Jerome? May I have the results, please? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Raysor, Hunt versus Jacobs, Hammonds, as it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Raysor, Mr. Farmer,
Yes.
you are not
Yes!
her father.
Oh my God! Oh! Oh my God! Oh! Oh!
Thank you.
Oh!
Thank you.
Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Miss Raysor,
Oh my God!
have a seat.
Oh my God!
Both of you, have a seat.
Oh my God!
Sit down.
Oh my God! Thank you, Jesus.
Are you ready for the next result?
Oh, thank you.
In the case of Raysor, Hunt versus Jacob Hammonds, as it pertains to 26-year-old Precious Raysor, Mr. Jacobs, you
All the Father. You are the Father.
are not her father.
No.
This is my daughter right here.
No.
This is my baby right here.
No.
We're gonna get through this, all right? You hear me?
Wow.
Oh.
Sit down.
Mr. Jacobs, please try to
sit
sit her down.
Sit down right here.
She should be okay.
Don't leave me.
Sit down. The judge got to finish reading the paper. Sit down right here. Oh, yeah, take this. Is there something else I need to do, Your Honor?
I have one last result. Miss Raysor,
Who's my father?
Me. I'm your father.
You're my dad.
Miss
I'm your father, I'm
Raysor,
your dad, I'm everything.
Miss Raysor,
Yes, Judge.
just take a deep
Your
breath.
Honor. I need to know my father.
I know this is a tough day for all of you.
I need to know. I need to know.
Miss Hammonds, do you have any idea
Who's
who
my
her,
father then?
do you have any other ideas who could be her father?
Who's my father? Please, I'm begging you. Just talk to me.
I'm not sure, Precious. I'm not sure.
Just talk to me.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You don't recall. When you say you're not sure, ma'am, could you possibly be able to identify maybe one or two other possibilities, or is it that you truly don't even remember a name?
I remember a name.
So you do remember, and you could help your daughter,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes, ma'am.
You still gonna walk me down the aisle?
Of course I am.
Or you gonna leave forever?
I'm not going nowhere. You can bet that. I'm not going nowhere.
That's what daddies do.
Yes, ma'am.
Should we go to the results for Mr. Hunt?
I really don't need to hear anymore. That's my
Mr.
son,
Hunt?
and that's my daughter.
Yes.
Would you like to hear them? It's
Yes.
up to you.
Yes.
The final results read as follows. In the case of Raysor, Hunt versus Jacobs, Hammonds, as it pertains to 33-year-old Hector Hunt, Mr. Jacobs, you are not Hector's father.
Oh, you is scandalous.
But you don't know. It's other things.
Oh,
Jerome, could you go
is
please see if you could help Mr. Hunt?
scandalous. Oh,
Let me get my kids, let me get my children.
she is scandalous. Oh,
sorry.
This court is going to take a recess. And I want to see you all in my chambers. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned. Precious, I just want to start with you. I know this was emotionally devastating news.
I thought I knew the truth. I was so strong about knowing the truth.
I understand.
And that's not even all of it. I have to tell Hector something.
What would you like to tell your son?
I'm not his mother.
What? Are you serious? You're not his mother.
What do you mean?
He's my cousin's son. She died at childbirth.
So when I went to jail, when you told me that you was pregnant, you had me believe most of the time that that was my son.
What? Come on, man. Nah, man. Yo.
I'm the cousin.
Mr. Hunt,
Oh.
So this is not my real brother?
let me understand this.
Your cousin.
Let me understand this.
Oh, my life is
So his mother was your cousin, you're saying.
Oh.
And while having him, she passed away. So when you had us test Mr. Jacobs as potentially Mr. Hunt's father, is that because Mr. Jacobs was also intimate with your cousin?
Yes.
Yes. So the paternity test could have proven that he was his father, and that's why you wanted him tested. Here, come over with your brother.
Calm down, man. Calm down. It's gonna be all right. All right. All right.
Mr. Haynes, you have brought Ms. Manning to court today to prove that you are the father of her 4-year-old daughter, Zoe. You say Ms. Manning initially told you that you were Zoe's dad, but now is claiming you are not her father. Is that correct?
Yes, Honor.
Ms. Manning, you say that Mr. Haynes is not Zoe's dad and believe the DNA will prove that today. You previously appeared in this court with another man claiming to be Zoe's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Haynes, you say Zoe is your child. Explain.
I know Zoe's my child. Miss Manning is keeping her from me because she has another gentleman in the picture, and that's why I came to you for the answers.
So you are convinced,
Yes.
beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Zoe is your daughter.
Yes.
And so why?
Miss Manning sent me a picture, and I thought it was my son at first. It was actually Zoe. And so I took a picture of my son and her, and I compared it, and that's when I thought she was my child.
Ms. Manning, you are convinced Mr. Haynes is not Zoe's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why do you feel you know that for certain?
Zoe was conceived at the end of October, and we had already broken up.
And so this picture here is a picture of Zoe.
Yes, Your Honor.
You sent that picture to Mr. Haynes?
Yes.
So why would you send a picture of her at all if you know for certain he's not her biological father? Why even send a picture?
I've never even told him that he wasn't the father. I just told him there was a possibility he was the father.
She said I was the father multiple times. Then she also told me I wasn't the father multiple times.
So first let me understand, what was the nature of your relationship?
We first met when I was getting a tattoo, and it was at her residence. And we only dated for a short period of time until she ended the relationship. So I ended up moving on and got with my ex now, my son's mom.
Was it a committed relationship when you dated, or were you dating other people?
It was a committed relationship.
Was it a
my
committed
standard.
relationship, Ms. Manning?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long after that did you find out you were pregnant, Ms. Manning?
We broke up in the middle of October, and I found out in December.
That's a lie. We actually broke up in November of 2013.
And you know that for certain?
Yes,
Because
it was actually at one of my friends. She just gave birth, and we were both at the hospital, and we were dating at that time.
And so when did you find out you were pregnant, Ms. Manning?
In December.
In December. And so when you found out you were pregnant, you say now that you informed Mr. Haynes he was a possibility?
I didn't inform him he was a possibility until she was like 9 months old.
Oh, so you had the baby, and Mr. Haynes never knew? And you had the baby all the way till she was 9 months old?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you informed Mr. Haynes that he was a possibility? What made you send the photo?
He asked for a photo of her.
And I did not ask for a photo. I didn't even
When
know
I
about
told
it.
him that I was pregnant, he asked for a picture of Zoe, so I sent him a picture of her.
And how did you even know she existed if you've never been told?
I never knew until after my son was born, and that's when I received the photo, and I thought it was my son.
Okay, and when you got that photo, you said, oh, this looks just like my son.
Yes.
So
correct.
that made you immediately think, this is my daughter, too.
Yes.
So you say he asked for the picture, Ms. Manning. You all were just having conversation, or he just reached out to you out of the blue and said, I want to see a picture of Zoe. How did this happen?
I reached out to him.
And what did you say?
I had a baby, and it's a possibility she's yours.
Okay. And so he said, send me a picture. And that's what you sent. And once he acknowledged that, yes, I believe this is my daughter, what did you say?
I've never told him he was the father, and I've never told him he wasn't the father. It's always been, there's a possibility. And the fact that he's waited 4 years to take a paternity test is what irritates me.
And why did you wait 4 years, Mr. Haynes?
The only reason I waited so long is because she kept going back and forth that I wasn't the father, and she's already brought someone to the court and got a DNA test. So that was I didn't think it was mine at the time, but now I want the truth. I need the truth. If she's mine, I'll definitely step to the plate and actually be there.
But Ms. Manning, now, you stated it was between him and another man. And you were in this courtroom before, and we tested another man, and he was not the biological father. So does that automatically mean Mr. Haynes is the biological father?
No.
So there's another possibility?
The other possibility is on her birth certificate.
So are there just 3 possibilities? Or more? Go ahead and tell the truth.
Just 3.
So 1 we already tested. The second is on her birth certificate. And the third is Mr. Haynes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you know about the third possibility, Mr. Haynes?
No, I did not until I found out last year when I seen on her Facebook saying that she was in this courtroom with the other guy.
Well, that was the first. I'm talking about the third is the one on her birth
Yes,
certificate.
I knew about him once I found out that she changed her mind saying that it's him.
But up until that time, you just thought you were the only option and the guy that was tested previously in this courtroom.
Yes.
Lauren Lake here, giving you 5 seconds to subscribe and click on the notification bell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have you tried to be a father at all to Zoe, Mr. Haynes? Have you been a part of her life? She's 4.
I have tried to reach out to her. I have talked to her once, and when I did talk to her, Miss Manny told me not to mention that I was the father. She just told me to keep, I'm a family friend of the family, so.
And how old was she when you talked to her?
Probably going to say around 2.
And you've made no attempt since that time to see her?
Because for the longest time, I was not the father, and I did not have her cell phone number.
So, Mr. Haynes, you submitted a timeline to the court. Will you please step over to the monitor and explain to the court what this means?
So, March of 2014 is when I received the photo of Zoe, but like I told you guys just previous, that I thought it was my son. Then I found out it wasn't.
And you felt like she sent you the picture because she was your child?
Yes.
So you're thinking you are the father?
Yes.
Okay, move on.
Then in around May, I should say, of 2014 was when I first got the Facebook message saying that I was not the father.
Based on what information?
Because that's when the father that's on the birth certificate, that's when she told me about him.
Okay, so in early 2015, what happened?
That's when I got unblocked from her, and that's when I received a message from her saying that I was the father again.
Ms. Manning, did you write him back and say, now you are the father?
No.
In early 2015?
No.
So you just think he's making all this up?
I've never told him he was the father if he wasn't the father. It's always been there's a possibility between you and my ex.
So what happened November 2015?
That's when I received the last message that I was not the father.
What did she say in this message? Hey, on second thought, you're not the father.
Yes, pretty much in that words.
So you've heard you are the father, you are not the father. You are the father, you are not the father.
Yes.
Why do you think she's doing this? What's her motive?
She likes to play mind games. And she don't know who the actual real father is.
You can step back to your podium. Ms. Manning, what is your relationship with the other possible father?
He has no rights to Zoe. I have full custody.
And this is the man that's on her birth certificate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does he believe he's her biological father?
When I gave birth to her, he signed a paper that said he believed Zoe was his child.
I want to hear from your witness, Mr. Haynes. Please step up to the podium, ma'am. State your name for the record.
Diane Wickwire.
Ms. Wickwire, you are what relation to Mr. Haynes?
He's my boyfriend.
He's your boyfriend?
Yes.
All right. And so, Ms. Wickwire, talk to me about this particular paternity situation.
First off,
what
Your Honor,
testimony do you have?
we've been together for 2.5 years. She has repeatedly sent him messages saying that he is the father and isn't the father. She's dragging him through hell, pretty much. When he is the father, he's
Your Honor,
happy and wants to
I don't
actually try and
understand
take...
how I'm dragging him through hell when it's been, there's a possibility, let's get a DNA test.
Okay. So, Ms. Wickwire, you're reading these messages.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
He's sharing them with you.
Yes.
And what is her reasoning behind saying he is, he isn't, he is, he isn't? Why would she be going back and forth?
It seems like every time she gets a new boyfriend, or breaks up with her boyfriend, it's his.
Your Honor,
Okay.
my thing is where is this proof that I have said you are and you are not the father? Because I feel like if I have said that, he would have kept it and held it over my head.
Actually, they've had a conversation where she said that I may have said that only because I'm angry at you.
And that was actually
That was like 3 days ago.
Did you ever admit to that, Miss Manning, that, look, I may be saying these things because you getting on my last nerve, I'm angry, and I'm just mad, and sometimes I don't want to be bothered with you, so I say you're not the father?
I did tell him that I might have said it out of anger.
All right. See, that's what we're here to get, is the truth. I've been talking now for 20 minutes just trying to get down to that one piece of truth. And you could have saved me a lot of talking in circles by just saying, sometimes our relationship is so annoying or so bad or we're so angry at one another, I tell him he's not the father. Because that's why he's standing up here saying that you said you are the father, you are not the father, then you are the father, then you are not the father, so that he does not understand if he is or if he isn't, but he believes he is. Whew. So have you encouraged a relationship between Mr. Haynes and Zoe?
No.
You have not. And why is that?
I would rather have proof that he is her father instead of them building a relationship and him not being the father.
So his gut tells him that he is her biological father. Your gut tells you he is not.
Yes.
You really believe it's the man that's on the birth certificate who's already acknowledged paternity, but has allowed you to have full custody and doesn't really want to be a part of raising her.
Yes.
And Mr. Haynes, she broke up with you in November.
Yes, at the hospital, by the way.
And then Zoe was born in August.
Yes.
If we backtrack, that timeline would point to you.
Yeah.
You've done the math, I presume.
Yes, I did.
Have you done the math, Miss Manning?
Yes. I have.
Did it point to Mr. Haynes?
No, Zoe was conceived in October.
How long were you two together?
We were together from October 14th, a little over 2 weeks, I should say, from October 14th, 15th to November 3rd.
If you're saying, Ms. Manning, that Zoe was conceived in October, and you were with Mr. Haynes in October, how can you even be certain that he's not? Or are you just saying that because you are angry at him, which I don't understand why you're so angry at him, because you broke up with him, right? What is this about?
I got together with him in a break between me and my ex, which is the one on the birth certificate. And I broke up with him because I didn't want to drag him on.
All right. Despite what your gut says to you, do you hope Mr. Haynes is her biological father?
Yes.
You do? So even though your gut says to you, you do not think he's the father, your heart says, I hope he is because I want her to have someone who wants her. What are your hopes, Mr. Haynes?
I just want to find out the truth because it's been almost 4 years of going back and forth that I'm the father. So I just want the proof.
And you want to be her father?
Yes.
Miss Manning, it's been a long road. It's been 4 years. And he's admittedly not been around, so you've been carrying this burden by yourself. So as you look at your little girl, and she's at an age now where she knows there's a mommy and a daddy, usually in a family or something, and everybody else has a daddy, and where's mine? And what do you tell her? Do you tell her anything about daddy?
She hates it. She hates it. Everybody else has dads and she don't. But I don't know how to explain that to her.
Well, she's too precious not to have the love of a father in her life, if it's possible. All right, let's get these results. Jerome. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Haynes versus Manning, do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. When it comes to 4-year-old Zoe, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Haynes, you are not the father.
That's all I needed to know. Sucks that Zoe don't know her real dad. Maybe she should just get the other guy tested that's on the birth certificate.
Miss Manning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you positive that the man on the birth certificate is her biological father? Are you sure there are no other options?
No,
We've
there's no
come
option.
this far. This is your second time here. This is the second time we've determined the potential father is not the biological father. The only one left is the one you say doesn't want to be involved. And I feel sad for Zoe.
Me too.
Are you going to reach back out to him?
No, I can't.
So we've got some work to do, okay? It may not be now. Now may not be the right time. But at some point, Zoe does deserve to know who her biological father is and that he's out there.